Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm guessing if you're watching this, you're probably trying to decide whether it's better to get a DSLR or a PowerShot camera. So I'm going to be going into that in today's video. So I have a bunch of notes. This is my DSLR right here. I also have the Canon G7X, which is actually the one I'm filming on right now. I can't show it in front of me, but that is what I'm filming on right now. So I'm just gonna dive into the pros and cons of each camera to show you guys which one I prefer and which one a new YouTuber should go with. So the two cameras I have, the Canon Rebel T5i and the Canon G7X. I'm gonna go into the pros and cons for each one. So the first thing you need to know about DSLR cameras is they are very hard to work with when you've never used a camera before. So I'm not saying never on this. I think DSLR cameras can be great, but just know they're very hard to learn how to put in focus and do all that. So that's actually the first thing that I want to talk about is the Canon T5i is extremely hard to put in focus. And even when you get it in focus, sometimes it'll go out of focus while you're filming, which is super annoying because then you're gonna have to film again. If you look through some of my first videos, I'm sure you'll be able to tell that in some of the parts it goes out of focus, which is just really obnoxious when you're trying to film a video. That is something that my G7X Mark II just doesn't do. Pretty much when you're focused in on your video, you're going to continue to be focused. So it's just easy for the YouTuber who's just starting out and really doesn't know about videography. But because you're using an easy camera, you're not going to have to like manage it a lot. It's not going to go out of focus and you're not going to have to figure out how to keep it there. I am very new in filming as well, and I didn't even know cameras went out of focus. So this was the perfect camera for me to actually use, and I rarely use my DSLR because of this. This is definitely the best camera to go from an iPhone to a camera to, because it's very easy to pick up on how to do videography, and I'm sure if I get better on this camera, I will get better on my DSLR. Next thing about the T5i is that it is very heavy. It is a very heavy camera. As you can probably see here, like, it's not lightweight, it's very heavy, and that is something that I do prefer about the G7X as well. If I want to vlog or do whatever, it's not going to be like a struggle to like pick it up and put it in front of my face. So that is something I like about it. Also, if you saw my last video, it has like a little thing that flips up so you can see yourself while you're vlogging. DSLR does too, but it's just like, as you can see, it's going to be really hard for me to like turn it around and look at it like that. It's just like gonna make my arm tired. So I prefer the G7X definitely for vlogging, because a DSLR camera will just be too heavy for that. One thing that is very nice, I will say, about the DSLR is you can switch out lenses. I don't believe you can do that on the G7X. I think it's just like the lens is what you get. It's a very good lens, which is great. So I'm not saying it's not a good lens, but I'm saying if you want to explore different ways of photography and different types of lenses, that's what makes the DSLR good, is that you can do a bunch of different lenses, buy a bunch of different lenses for the purpose of what you're taking a video of or what you're taking a picture of, and it works really nicely because you can switch them out as you go, you can collect them over time. But something that I do like better about the G7X having only one lens is Canon is gonna try better to like make this a good lens, because then you'll most likely buy the camera, where with the Canon T5i, I found that I really wasn't impressed with the lens that it came with all that much. I would say that I definitely would have to go out and buy an additional lens. So this will just get expensive. It'll probably end up being $1,000 in total to have the camera and then the really good lens. So I also think that just like the G7X is cheaper, you don't have to pay for anything else. Everything comes with it. So I think that's also a really great benefit. But if you're somebody who wants to change up your lenses and all that stuff, I don't know if I'd recommend the G7X for you. So another thing I really like about the G7X is you can always count on it for the pictures coming out very clear, which is something that I really like, because no one likes a blurry thumbnail. Everyone wants their thumbnails to be clear, so it can be really annoying when I'm doing it on my DSLR and it always comes out blurry. And I don't know, again, if it's something I'm doing wrong, but regardless, it's really, really hard to get a good shot and get the perfect angle. You have to mess with the camera a lot. I normally have not been successful trouble getting a good thumbnail out of the DSLR camera. So that's just another thing to consider. With the Canon G7X, my first picture will come out perfectly. So I think that's another thing to really think about, because if you want something that's going to be easy and like really easy to work with, and you don't have to like work for hours just to get the right focus, then I would more so recommend the G7X for you. Something I really like about the Canon T5i that I don't necessarily like about the G7X is the fact that it'll stay on if you go and grab something for your video really fast. This is something with the G7X that I have to get over, but I've found extremely annoying. So say you're filming on your DSLR, you go and get your bag for like a haul or something, the camera will completely shut off and you keep having to shut it on and off and on and off, because basically if you're not active on the G7X, then the camera's just gonna shut off right away. Which for some people, they might like it if they forget to shut their camera off after vlogging and stuff, but I personally find it really obnoxious, where with the DSLR, if I'm doing a haul or something and I go to grab clothes or just do something, it'll stay on for at least like 5 minutes before it shuts off, where the G7X will almost shut off immediately when you haven't been active on it. So it can be kind of frustrating, kind of annoying, but like nothing you can't get over. I just personally think that they should have programmed it, at least it only shut off after a minute of inactivity. It can be very frustrating in the middle of the video when you have to keep turning it on because it keeps turning off. And I get it, it's a minor annoyance, but it's just something that I personally have been really annoyed with the G7X. But other than that, it's been amazing. And the next thing to compare about the G7X and the T5i is how it works on a tripod. So obviously you can avoid this entire situation by just getting an expensive tripod. Most people who start out on YouTube honestly don't want to spend a ton of money on the camera equipment because they want to see if it's really for them first. So they'll buy a cheap tripod, a cheaper camera, like they'll buy all things cheap at first to just like make sure it's something they really want to do. That's what I personally did. I bought a $10 tripod. It works, it's great. But something that I've noticed with the DSLR is the fact that the DSLR is just extremely heavy, so it definitely needs a tripod that's more strong, the legs are more strong and just stuff like that. Like, you'd probably be best off buying it from Canon directly, just because the DSLR is very, very heavy, and a cheap tripod that you bought on Amazon isn't gonna work for this particular camera. Where the G7X, if you want to do sit-down videos on it, the tripod will hold this camera up just fine, because I would say it only weighs a few pounds. Like, it's not very big, it's not going to be bulky, it's not going to like knock things over. It's very, very lightweight, so you could get away with spending money on the cheapest tripod in the world and it would probably stay on. Eventually, if I find that I'm on here for a while, like a year, I will probably buy a more strong tripod, but for now, you know, I'm just trying to like see how it goes so far. So that is why I recommend the G7X just a little bit more, because it's going to be more affordable and you're not going to keep having to buy stuff to like make this camera work for you. So overall, I would say the G7X is definitely the way to go for a new YouTuber. I think the T5i is very, very complicated, and to be honest, I haven't really picked it up a ton since I bought this new camera, since I bought the G7X. The G7X has just worked a lot easier for me, so that is why I prefer it over the DSLR. It should very much be used by people who have a background experience with cameras. It's very hard to use, it can be very frustrating at times, sometimes it goes out of focus, it just like does a lot of annoying things. So I think that the G7X is just good for a new YouTuber who's just getting started with videography and doesn't quite know what they're doing yet. I also think this is a great transition from maybe your iPhone to a camera, because personally I think the steps should be iPhone, PowerShot, and then DSLR, because DSLR is so complicated. I haven't even learned a lot about a DSLR yet, but a DSLR can be very complicated, so I think a Canon G7X is really good for you after your iPhone, because on an iPhone you just hit record and you're done. Like, that's all you have to do. You don't have to like really put it in focus besides tapping your finger on it or anything. And it's kind of the same thing with the G7X as well. You just hit a record button and you're all set. It'll put a little square on your face to make sure it's focused. So there's a lot less to do, and it's a lot more simple than using this DSLR that has like 40 different settings. There's just so much more to do on it. But that completes the video for today. I really hope this video helped you out on deciding what type of camera you want to get. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It would really help out my channel. All my social media is also on the bottom right corner, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.